All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got movement. Now we have a close-up. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so that's how we're started. Got it. Okay, so here we go. We've got TSUKI versus TSYMQ. Take two. TSUKI again, the Asian #3 clan. TSYMQ, Chinese #2 team. Sea Raptor, why don't you tell us about the TSUKI lineup?
Sure thing. Sporting here on the north side in green, TSUKI bringing double Ohio. A little bit of brisk, a little bit of concealment, a little bit of old-fashioned American plotting room deuce there in slot 6. Both battleships built fairly similarly, although it's notable that Starry Party has opted for the extra repair party. There it is. I'll come up with it in a minute. There we go. So he should be slightly, like ever so slightly more survivable, assuming he gets the opportunity to use that. He's got a 3-cruiser lineup here for TSUKI. That is Haruka's Moskva here headed towards mid. Concealment and unique upgrade module to go with top grade gunner. Shikishima's Brisbane, boy, that's going to mess me up all day long. Going gun reload, no torpedo skills there, leaning very much into the gunboat side of Brisbane. And then headed over here to the right, we ought to have another Brisbane's, that's a Garrow. And a very similar build, although a little bit more on the torpedo, at least picking up the torpedo reload skill. I think just an acknowledgement to the wide A flank, more opportunity to flex those torpedoes. Going with him over here in this gearing, that's Emilia. We've got a largely torpedo-focused build there in slot 6, but with the engine and smoke and RPF, we've been seeing quite a bit of that variant over the course of the tournament. Munon's Daring here playing mid, almost purely a gun build, although taking a little bit of an extra flood chance there on those single-launch torpedoes. Sorta's Daring also headed towards C. Dazzle on that Daring, along with RPF and a gun build. And then PLAN's Harugamo here with that now familiar smoke, gun range, and concealment RPF build. Talk to me about the TSYMQ lineup here, Zath.
All right, opposing to the south, TSYMQ bringing with them a Daring, heading towards the Charlie Cap right now. It looks like a pretty much gun build. We got our 420 Blaze it all Harugumo, followed up by a Minotaur. Obviously, that's a Manitar, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. With consumables spec and a Stalingrad that's range spec behind him. Over towards the middle of the map is the single battleship for TSYMQ, bringing one Montana. And then heading on over towards the Alpha Cap, we see a Moskva. That is unique upgrade Moskva. Behind a Brisbane. Now this Brisbane looks like he's running kind of mix of everything except outnumbered, interestingly enough. Argumo currently making the 420 Blaze It Smoke Snail and a Delny. Now this is the first time, Raptor, we've seen a Delny this weekend. And
this weekend, yes. We did see Delny in the North American Regional Finals weekend, however.
That is correct. And this is running, looks like a kind of a turret traverse and gun spec. So we'll see what Watery is able to do with that ship.
Now, both teams onto a cap, of course. The Delny jetting over to A, grabbing that very quickly on behalf of TSYMQ, whereas TSUKI grabs B completely unopposed. TSYMQ basically picking a very flank-heavy play. They're playing to hold A and C. They've more or less surrendered the middle of the board. We've seen this happen on Warriors Path before, Zath, and sometimes it comes back to bite these teams. We'll have to see if TSYMQ can make it work.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm surprised on a couple of levels, right? Obviously, TSYMQ bringing one battleship is interesting. This map is quite large. So you're kind of forced to keep the battleship mid, which is what they're doing with the Montana.
Yes.
The other thing I noticed was Schlagstift's Ohio. That's the one over on the Charlie 8 line at the C cap. He's spec'd actually very differently from the other Ohio. He's got more into turret traverse, including in slot 3, taking the main battery, the turny, whichever one that's called, along with the special grease the gears. So very interesting. It makes you think he's planning on being a little bit more frosty with those turrets compared to your typical tank build.
Yeah. One of the other things that I wanted to point out about TSYMQ's Minotaur over here on the C flank, a little unusual build here that I'm not used to seeing, running both outnumbered and top grade gunner simultaneously. So going for just all the main battery reload they can get. out of that ship, which I find really interesting.
Well, you know, you're giving up obviously radio location in order to make that happen, and so
Yeah.
I guess the question is, are they expecting the Harugumo to provide that intelligence for them?
No, Zath, have a look at James's daring over
Where's
here at
that?
the C cap. He's gonna reverse at the bottom into C. He's
I
gonna
see it.
reverse into one torpedo
With Hydra
Yep.
going.
With his hydro's going, but he turned and beached himself, preventing any ability to move out of the way of those.
Yeah, that's oof.
It's interesting to me that TSYMQ is deployed so heavy to the C flank, and yet they surrendered control of the cap early, despite having 2 radars here. The Minotaur, we were just talking about, that was Nuoli. He had moved up. He had popped his radar. The TSUKI smoke cloud was just outside his range, so he aggressively moved up, and then he and the Harugumo had some coordination problems getting that fixed up, trying to get that smoke. There's a reason that Harugumo smoke looks very, very sloppy on the bottom end of the cap.
It feels like they weren't quite set up properly, and as a result, Sora's daring was able just to kind of go right into C and get the cap for free. James now trying to get it back. You know, it's interesting as well, Nuoli bringing the Minotaur when Brisbane is not banned. I almost feel like you'd kind of want that extra 2-kilometer radar range here.
I think they're playing for duration on this cap, right? Because you've got the Stalingrad backing them up at sea that's got the range, and then the Minotaur has the radar duration. But man, James getting absolutely punished here despite having a radar advantage. TSYMQ not able to hold this cap, and their daring being just absolutely gutted here by, well, just about everybody. Down to 1,500 HP early.
Yeah, he's off detect now, and his heal is available, so that's going to start coming up. There we go. So he'll run some Band-Aids on it.
Over at the A cap, we can see TSYMQ's defense working effectively for the moment.
Look at B, Raptor.
Indance. What?
Look at B. Look at the Delny on the 6-7 line.
A little ballsy play. Delny not exactly known for these kinds of maneuvers. She's got the speed, but she generally doesn't have the stealth. It's interesting. What is Watery up to in here, I wonder?
I'm curious, because I'm sure Munan's radio location is pointing at the Delny, and I'm sure that Sora's radio location is about to flip to the Delny if it hasn't already. So that should tell Zuki, hey, you got somebody over here.
Oh, I think I see it. Watery now looks like he's going to work the inside gap.
There's
you remember
the radar.
seeing that game that we cast? Yep, there's the radar. They know exactly where he is now. Do you remember seeing that game that we cast way back in like day 2 or day 3 with the Vampire Deuce, Mr. Deacon, that made this maneuver?
Yep.
I think we're seeing some of that here. They're going to double up here. They're going to shove him into the side of the cap. Yes, he'll take some shots, but it's a Delny. He can weather some of that fire because he's got a heal.
Yeah.
Oh no, Sora!
Sora takes the
Going
torps.
It's going out. Hydro not available. Beautiful daring torps, and James wins that exchange.
Yeah, completely broke the keel back of that destroyer as it sinks in 2 pieces. Love that animation.
Huge kill for TSYMQ. Not sure how Suki defends the C cap now.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can either, as their Ohio Starry Party takes a good-sized hit there from Sumors, Montana.
Here comes a little bit of radar Harugumo action, though, on the 10 line. Take a look at this.
Ooh.
Pooh is
It's a
going
ballsy
to...
charge.
Pooh is in trouble because he's on the Brisbane radar.
They're gonna lose the Harugumo. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure why. After you just taken out their destroyer and flipped the C cap, I'm not sure why you make that play, Zath.
That play was already in motion when it happened, and, you know, it's kind of like you can't just stop.
No, that's true. It's not that simple. Ship this big, don't stop on a dime.
That's right, that's right.
Now, they're continuing to fish for PLA and Harugumo back there. They know he's low, but not coming up with anything. Nuoli's radar's down for another 90 seconds, so they're not going to get the opportunity. But it does mean that Suki's other surviving destroyer on this flank is going to have to pull back. He basically can't get spotted the rest of the game, or he's going to be free points for the other team.
Well, exactly. So you were just talking about how Suki can get back into C-Cap, and now we have a way back in, at least potentially.
Possibly.
Uh-oh,
look at
Shikishima Mother, Brisbane on the border, sliding along, but gonna take 1 torp, I think. No! Wow. Did you see that, Raptor?
I did not. I was looking. I'd rotated the camera back toward B and trying to keep an eye on this battleship duel that's happening across the middle of the map here. TSYMQ's only battleship stuck in versus Starry Party here is Starry kind of pushing towards the A cap. I think Suki realizing that C is a lost cause, having to make a play on the other side of the map. They're doing a great job of beating up Shihun's Moskva here, who's down under 15k. Down to his last heal. His last heal is about to come off cooldown, and I think they're going to pick up that kill shortly. All the way on the A line, Yandian's Brisbane also looking really, really rough.
Yeah, we also missed that exchange. It must have been either torpedoes or a really nice Ohio salvo is going to be my guess.
Could be a little bit of both. The torpedo soup has been thick at A. We talked about that, right, between the Gearing and Garrow's Brisbane. So now, CC here, let's see, is that his last smoke? Not his last smoke. He's got a couple more after that. So Yandian's got smoke again as the Moskva radar picks up Amelia's Gearing on the top end of A, but they're going to lose Shihun here in just a sec.
Yeah, James, I'm surprised, gets in there with his guns right away. They're trying to obviously stem the bleeding for the Moskva, but he gets himself detected and then pops the smoke. So that does alert Suki that, hey, your daring is here. And it also kind of gives him an idea of how low health he is.
Suki working only a single cap and a 100-point lead. 8 minutes to play here in game 1. They are currently working a ship advantage. The radar now catching the Brisbane broadside in the smoke down here. That's Yandian as the Ohio shells start to come in, but they miss.
They do. Radar's expiring as well, so...
Yep. They'll lose those eyes in a moment.
Yep. Starry Party actually beaches himself with the Ohio. Munan's daring coming, probably going to put the smoke up to try to help. There it is. Try to keep Starry Party alive.
Give him a little breather there. His next heal is about 20 seconds away. That's just enough time for him to sit in that smoke, get a little bit of a reprieve, and get a heal going.
Munan's rear turret in the daring, their third turret, is destroyed. He only has the first two available.
Okay.
Interesting.
Amelia's Gearing is going to pick up A. I don't think they're going to be able to get shells on him for the reset in time. 2-1, and there's the flip. Now he's got to bail out of there and salvage his ship. Suki continuing to put pressure on TSYMQ here. Working about a 100-point lead right there. 50 seconds on the timer. TSYMQ needs a kill.
They absolutely need to find a way to get a kill. I think this Gearing's going to be their decision to make it happen, but the problem is they don't have him detected. So you can see right there, CC and Nisaragumo just kept shooting, trying to find him, but in the process is now detected and has taken return fire.
20 seconds, time ticking away here. Suki with that catastrophic destroyer loss at the C flank, just reorganizing, pulling back, making a different decision, making the play at A instead. Seeming like they're going to make this work, Zath. 7 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how TSYMQ is going to be able to make something happen at this point. The Montana's trying to get into B, but it's just too late.
Just too late as Suki holds on despite the early loss, that early ship loss. They hold on for a win here in game 1.
You know, one of the crucial moments was Shikishima Mother hitting that border, and I called your attention to that. You guys kind of might have missed it on your end, but I'll tell you what, he was basically broadside to a whole host of torpedoes coming. But because he's using a, British light cruiser, they've got that special engine zhuzh, and the border really doesn't affect them as much. As a matter of fact, they can accelerate ridiculously along the border. That's what saved his ship from those torpedoes. And that probably changed the game. Yeah,
indeed. Two really good teams here, two very evenly matched teams, Zath. It was interesting to see that the TSYMQ, kind of AC split and the way Suki dealt with it, and them holding on to a win here in game 1. Well, listen, let's throw it back to Gaishu and Bogsy. Let them chat about this for a minute. We'll see you guys back for game 2 shortly.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warshippers of all ages, to game 2 of this series between Suki and TSYMQ. We're looking at the Asia third place team and the Chinese second place team as we spawn into Sleeping Giant. Suki in the green. Zath, talk to me about the Suki lineup.
Now, Suki's made a couple of changes to the lineup. Very interesting. So we've got Starry Party reprising his role in his Sniper Spec Ohio, and Schlagstiff reprising his role in a more turny Ohio. Well, heading over towards the A cap, we've got a Woosta Raptor, a Woosta. Now, this Woosta is running range upgrade, which, you know, it makes sense. You can arc your shells higher over quite a bit of land here between the Echo 3 and 4 islands. We saw yesterday a Woosta, though, on this map going into the Thunderdome and essentially doing nothing for quite a bit. So we'll have to see what Suki does with their Wooster. In front of him is a typical smoke spec, unique upgrade torpedo build gearing that we all know and love so much. Heading to the middle is Sora's Daring again, about to actually make contact with James's Daring. Heading over to C-Cap, we've got Ragnar behind, in front of a 420 Blaze It All Harugumo. A Brisbane that is running Adrenaline Rush and some other fixins. And I believe that covers the lineup. What do we got for TSYMQ, sir?
Well, let's start at the B cap here for TSYMQ with a very, very aggressive Minotaur position here early. Harugumo, this is Ku. We saw Ku and Nuli working the C cap last game in Warriors Path. This time working the bottom end of B. What's interesting to me is that Suki, other than Sora's Daring, basically not really going for any of this. So we'll see how this shakes out. But yep, so Ku there with the Blaze It build. And Nuoli's Minotaur got a little bit of a pocket of smoke here to play, and actually playing behind the smoke. Very smart. James is Daring, as we saw earlier, more of a gun build. He's got these torpedoes coming in, so they know now there's a destroyer somewhere over there. I'm wondering if that's going to prompt the radar. Would he be in range? He wouldn't. So if they were to spend Nuoli's radar, it would not yet catch Sora. So probably won't bother. Probably save it until they actually need it. Over here on the C flank, again, we're looking at the Harugumo, this time paired up with a Brisbane. That's Yandian. We saw these guys over at the A cap last game on Warriors Path. There's the radar coming in on Sora now. But right at the extreme edge of it, he easily ducks out of it. Takes a little bit of damage, but, I mean, he knows he's not detected. He's right at the extreme edge of this radar.
Talking about taking damage, look at Suki's destroyers north of C.
Whoa, what happened there?
Munan took a torpedo, and Plan took a torpedo.
Well,
Munan's about to take another torpedo.
Munan's going to go out right here. The Ragnar's going to take another one.
Wow.
Wow. Absolute bloodbath for Suki there already. Sora's Daring is weathering the fire fairly well. He's actually working off of Haruka's Moskva radar. They did get the other.
Plan goes down. But
wow.
wait, CC takes a torpedo as well and is also radared in the smoke.
CC getting quite low as well. You have to wonder if Suki's going to get some revenge. Ooh, he's still radared down to 2,300.
You know they want it.
Oh, of course they do. Radar expire. Okay, he's finally dark. Let's see if this last salvo bags him. Oh, not quite. More shells continuing to fall.
There it goes. Wow.
They get the blind kill. So an absolute destroyer bloodbath at sea. We're barely 4 minutes in the game. I haven't even gotten through the lineup yet. Wow. All right, well, let's try and finish this off. Shihun's Moskva over here holding down the fort at A. TSYMQ basically going heavy C, heavy mid, surrendering the A cap completely. We've got a unique upgrade Moskva over here, but he's not going to last very long if he's the only ship there. TSYMQ opting for the single battleship strat again. That's Sumor's Montana here playing mid. He's got brisk concealment, fire prevention, and that beautiful artillery plotting room 6. Artillery plotting room 2, I should say. And Conhana's Venezia. This also, I didn't see Conhana in this before we saw the destroyer bloodbath, but you have to wonder if maybe the Venezia got a good salvo into the Ragnar somewhere along the way in that exchange earlier.
It's a possibility, but I'll tell you what, the Ragnar, when he took that torpedo, he just got chunked. So, yeah. Regardless, I mean, he was... Oof. Not looking good.
Well, Watery's Delny, the only surviving destroyer on the sea flank, despite there being 4 destroyers there a moment ago. He's going to claim the sea cap as Suki grabs A.
You know what's interesting?
James's Daring's looking a little nasty in the middle of the board as well. Go ahead.
Means that both Brisbanes out on sea have no smoke friends. No,
they don't.
Other than the Venezia, Conhana's Venezia. That's really it. Maybe Sora's Daring being rotated over to help now. But, yeah. What a bloodbath.
Well, Suki pushing hard down the 1-2 line here now, trying to put some pressure on Shihun's Moskva, as he's actually getting a little bit of backup now from the Minotaur. Ku and Nuoli have now rotated to the to kind of back him up over here, back along the 4 line.
Yeah, that they've done, and you can see now Starry Party's like, yeah, I don't want any of this, and he's actually turning his ship around.
Yep, he is running the. I mean, he's running the extra heal on his battleship, so he can weather some of this fire for a little while and recover some of that health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'll tell you, look at all these shells just continually pumped into that Ohio and the smoke.
He's dark
even.
now. He's actually able to take advantage of the gearing smoke right here, give him a bit of a reprieve.
Yeah,
Brilliant smoke work from Amelia. Brilliant smoke work. Although now there's the radar coming up from Moskva.
Yup.
Yep. So the question is, do you shoot? Who do you shoot at, Zath?
You
There's
shoot the
3
gearing.
high priority targets there.
You shoot the gearing.
Shihun agrees with you.
Nobody else does.
He's shooting it. Nobody else does. Well, I lied that. I lied. He took 1 salvo at the gearing and then immediately switched to the Ohio, who's now cooking his 2nd heal.
Well, then they called all guns on the Ohio, clearly.
Yep, I think they want this Ohio kill. They don't want him to get away. But
Yeah.
Shihun's also starting to feel the pressure between the Worcester shells, the Ohio shells.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a mistake because, well, as you can see, Starry's got his DCP active, his heal is continuing to go. And as you mentioned, he does have that commander skill where the more damage he takes, the quicker his heal comes available again. So Starry's Party's just going to heal back anyway.
Just like that, we're even on ships, 7.5 minutes in. Starry's still spotted. He's also starting to get low. Tremendous pressure here on Suki's battleship. Really brilliant reaction from TSYMQ to focus on him though.
Yeah, we'll see. 10 seconds to go.
10 seconds. Can he limp to his next heal?
He's trying.
Doesn't look good. 2-1 and smash, 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 smash. There it is.
Oh yeah, I'd be rapid firing before even available.
he does barely make it to his next heal, clinging to life, getting down as low as 92 HP.
Yep, I saw 92 as well. I'm looking.
Starting to turn on the border now, still dark. I mean, still not dark, still well lit. His heal barely keeping him in the game. Taking a big salvo at the Montana. Not much out of it, unfortunately.
There he
and they do
goes.
finally get him. Wow. Whole lot of drama on the 1 line.
And look at Watery's Delny now.
I was just noticing this. They're going to spot him on Hydro in just a second.
Yeah, I don't think they care. I think they're
Yep,
lining
they can
up.
see him.
I think they're lining up for a torp rush here.
Yeah. Haruka sees it coming. He's going to spin out of position. He's got his guns ready. He's going to make this as difficult as possible for Watery. Watery going bow in now.
Yep, he should be shooting AP right now. Nope, he's shooting HE.
Haruka gives him the stern turrets. He's trying to stagger the turrets as Watery.
There's the Citadel.
Watery's. Yep. Watery guarding his torpedo tubes to make sure they don't get knocked out by that HE fire.
So far, they're okay. The front torpedo tube only has 917 hit points.
I gotta say, Zath, I don't think this is gonna work out for TSYMQ. I think even if Haruka takes one of these torpedoes, and I think one is likely, they're gonna lose the Delny for not much gain. Now, they are getting some Citadels there. The Montana was ready to take advantage of this. In fact, he lands no torpedoes.
None. Wow.
So now Haruka's gonna be able to punch out Watery. Now he's got to get his bow back around before the Montana guns reload.
It's very strange because
Nope, he's gonna go stern in.
it looked like the Delny Watery slowed down as soon as he was detected on Hydra, almost like he wanted to confirm, you really want me to do this? And that hesitation gave Haruka enough time to just hit the W key, and you could see the power of the propulsion module just speeding him up so that he can dodge those torpedoes. Great play by Suki's Haruka there.
Haruka still in the game. Feels like maybe TSYMQ, bit of a forced error there, throwing away a ship perhaps. But we'll see if they can get Haruka off the board, then it might feel not quite as bad.
Well, we got another slap fight going on over at A. Minotaur Harugumo beating up on Tsuki's Wooster. Plus
Very
battleship
uncomfortable
shells.
there if you're Amelia's gearing.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, he's going to take a torp up the butt here, I think. Oh, yeah, there he goes.
Sure is. TSYMQ's aggression paying off here at A. Pushing hard, claiming the cap. They grab the gearing and the Wushta, and there goes Haruka's Moskva. An absolute bloodbath here for TSUKI in Game 2, Zath.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing going their way.
Absolutely. TSYMQ coming back and saying, we're not just going to let you 2-0 us here.
Nope. A huge lead now for TSYMQ. Over 300 points in climbing. They own C. They'll own A shortly. Conhana takes a big hit there, but I don't think it's going to matter in the end. Sora now is going to get into a bit of a fight over here across the B cap.
Yep, and there's radar support coming up from the Brizzy, so James will not be able to use his smoke. James is out of heals. So is Sora. It just comes down to good old-fashioned gun slap fight. And it's a trade.
Nope, but some blind fire manages to hit the Montana. Now these daring torpedoes, Zath, these look pretty good.
Yes,
he's going to take a few of these in the stern. Two there. One more in the bow.
Two.
Yep. 2 in the bow.
Yeah.
So 4 total.
And the DCP
not as many
is
as
down.
you would have liked, but still. Yep,
DCP
still
is
flooding.
down. So double flood probably. Wow.
Nope. He's not flooding at all. He's just he's flooding. He's got 1 flood and a heal, it looks like.
Yes, he's healing and flooding. Healing through the flood, baby.
Still, there's only 2 surviving TSUKI ships here. It's taken 12 minutes, and TSYMQ has basically swept TSUKI from the seas here on Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, now it's interesting we didn't see TSUKI use the same strategy they used against Penta yesterday. They defeated Penta on this map using, actually from the same setup, from up north, and they had with them the, that was the double Marseille and the Orgon. And they just pushed straight down 910. It was a thing of beauty to watch.
Makes you wonder if maybe they opted for something different, sort of thinking that, well, it worked against an EU team because they haven't seen it, but maybe the Asia team's a little more prepared for the aggressive strategy. We don't expect this to work.
True. And, they've got access to the replays just like all of us. So there goes Shikishima. Oh, yeah. So,
Seymour gets his stern turrets around, and that's that.
So they could absolutely look at it and be like, well, okay, we can't use that trick again.
Yeah.
Here's the part where Slagstiff is going to use those turret traverse upgrades and modules to great effect here to turn and get shots on target just before he dies anyway.
I mean, it's all over but the crying here. We know TSUKI can't win this game with 1 ship against what? 5, 6, 5.
Yeah.
Not going to win a 1v5 here.
Well,
not when you're 600 points down and have no cap control.
As I like to say when I'm doing replay analysis or even playing the game, it's solo warrior time.
That's right. Except you can't earn one in a training room, Zath.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Unfortunate.
Conhana trying for maybe we know at least one of his torpedo tubes is already in the water. It's like he's trying for the ram. I think he's just trying for the ram.
I mean, you might as well.
But they can't see the Ohio. They have no vision. They're just guessing as to where he's about to proxy spot each other. There we go.
His plane is off. Oh, his plane is off, so unable to spot there.
Khan's gonna try for the ram. Let's see if he can get it. Looks like he's going to.
Widespread torpedo would give him insurance too, right here. There it is.
Well, they get
single.
Oh, he doesn't. He misses the ram. Does get the torpedoes. Wow.
Yeah, narrow spread though. Better to use widespread there because you don't end up with saturation from torpedoes hitting the same part of the ship. Either way, it doesn't matter in this game.
Doesn't really matter.
Congrats to TSYMQ for winning game 2.
Wow, that was a bloodbath, Zath. Like, it just started as a bloodbath and didn't really let up, did it?
No. That was a very entertaining game. That was a very entertaining game.
Indeed. Are you not entertained? Well, I'm willing to bet our studio analysts were entertained. Let's throw it back to them and let them chew on this one for a few minutes.
Sounds great.